We are 4 months out of the federal election in the fall, and the latest polls coming out of Ipsos, Angus Reid, and Nanos all show Tom Mulcair, the leader of the NDP party, surging in the polls, such that all three actually show him in the lead, and two of them show him in a statistical tie with Stephen Harper. I've got Anthony Furey here with me to break this all down. For a year and a half, when Justin Trudeau became the leader of the Liberal Party, he enjoyed he was leading in the polls for about a year and a half. Then what happened last October, we saw his numbers start to plummet. Is it too early to write him off? Because I think people are somewhat surprised that Tom Mulcair is doing so well.
Well, yes, it's too early to write off Trudeau entirely because any of the three major party leaders could become our next prime minister. But I'm feeling a little vindicated here because since early 2013, I said the obvious, which was, look at this guy Trudeau. He just doesn't have the real stuff. He's not a serious man.
But is that what it is? Is it that he's not a serious man and you think Canadians are waking up to that we're seeing?
Absolutely. I feel totally vindicated for those columns I wrote for years who said, oh, you're just doing liberal smears. It's not smears. It's pointing out the truth. And Mulcair's rise has to do with the fact that there's just a lot of people who don't want to vote for Harper because that's what happens in a society where people have various views. Trudeau is less and less the guy that these people are parking their views with because he's just not a legitimate choice. And Mulcair has had the benefit of flying under the radar for a few years. He hasn't been subjected to the same scrutiny as Trudeau has. So now people are going, hey, this guy, he seems great. He's not in over his head. They're actually looking at him almost for the first time, even though he's been around longer than Trudeau.
When you look at the Conservative attack ads, I think it would be fair to say that Stephen Harper and the Conservatives agree with you, because in their attack ads, they're not saying Justin Trudeau's a bad man. They're saying he's just not ready now.
Well, I find that a pretty ridiculous attack ad because it's a Conservative ad saying, oh, you can vote for him next election, just don't vote for him this election. They're trying to make themselves not seem too cruel. But the truth is, I think they can back off the Trudeau attack ads now because the best attack ads just take out what folks are already thinking, and that he's inexperienced, in over his head, too green. I think the folks are just on side with that right now. So they can just back away and let him kind of be himself, and he'll bury himself.
I mean, what do you think the particular policy was, or perhaps lack thereof, that really started to wake Canadians up to this reality when it comes to the Liberal leader?
Well, I think it was a bunch of things. It was just time. It was seeing Mulcair more in the prominence. Bill C-51 was a big issue. I mean, I think the anti-C-51 protesters just are majorly afflicted with Harper derangement syndrome.
Recall what he said when it came to Bill C-51. He was speaking in Vancouver, and he said, I will support this bill
Trudeau,
because I do not want people to come at me and say I'm anti-military. I mean, he literally exposed himself for being the unprincipled man that he is when he declared his support for Bill C-51, which is the Conservatives' anti-terrorism legislation.
Well, he exposed his backroom machinations and wore them on his sleeve, which is a very bizarre thing to do. What people want out of a leader is a guy who says, this is what I stand for, this is what I'm going to fight for, I don't care what anyone says, come on this ride with me. And Trudeau is almost admitting to campaigning by focus group, even though they all do it, and I hate that they all do it, but he's almost wearing it on his sleeve. And what the anti-Harper contingent want is someone who's going to be firmly anti-Harper, not wishy-washy anti-Harper, which is what Trudeau is.
So, Trudeau aside, let's look forward. You think this will be a two-way race between Tom Mulcair and Stephen Harper?
I always said, back in 2013, I said the Liberals must select Marc Garneau because he's a serious man. Him, Harper, Mulcair, same age, somber-toned people. The debates, will be a very high-order event. Trudeau there, it's not only going to be a circus, but it's going to be a circus where he's not the ringmaster. He's just the pony show off to the side, and he's not going to be able to hold his own. And the Liberals have acknowledged this because we know they're doing extensive debate prep on him now even, and you only do that when you know your guy isn't up to the occasion.
It's too early to tell, but since all of your predictions, you say, have come true when it comes to Justin Trudeau, who do you predict will take the lead in the fall?
You mean who do I predict will win?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I see a Harper minority, but I wouldn't be surprised by any other result at this point.
Actually, I have to ask, in addition to that question, Harper minority, Can we foresee a coalition between the NDP and the Liberals?
No, because I believe that Stephen Harper will be very conciliatory towards the left-wing demands because he's a very smart and pragmatic individual in that way, and that's one of the reasons why so many Conservatives have actually been disaffected over the past 10 years, because he's not really been governing true blue. That's why he stays in power and why I think he will continue to stay in power.
All right, thanks, Furey.